Mind telling me he's muted.
Not yet.
He should be muted now.
Oh, Lordy. You know what? I think from now on we have to have a guest.
I know. You and I spending too much time together is not a good thing for the green room. First of all, we're not going live.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The second thing is, I was reminded of the old days of doing the show with Ronnie Bincer and how you would try desperately to make me laugh behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really thought we were having another one of those moments.
Yeah, I hear you. Is my video doing wonky things?
It is.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that.
I don't know either. But you know what? Let's say hello to the audience because there's like people here. Hi, we got Mike.
Gang.
I love how well we've trained our audience. They don't even wait to ask. because before you asked that, we already had this one from Mike, this one from Andrew, this one from Ron.
There you go.
And then Huey.
Yep.
Hi, Jolin.
There you go.
Loving it. Loving every minute of it.
Wow. Where was that? Sunny Central, Iowa? Is that? Nice.
That's what it
Central
says.
Iowa. What town in Iowa? Just curious.
Sunny Central. Duh. Weren't you there?
Okay. I don't even know him. Low country of South Carolina. Well, we're in the upstate of South Carolina.
Aw, so sweet. I love getting all the welcome homes. You guys are the best.
Heather, where are you from?
Today, the hottest place on the planet.
Wow. Okay, so that's a big change from where you were last week, huh?
Yeah, I was in the second hottest place.
Second hottest.
So I went to Montana. For those of you who don't know, I went to Montana, and it was absolutely wonderful. The hottest day was like 89 degrees, which that's Fahrenheit
crazy.
for those of you who use that Celsius stuff. But yeah, it was nice. It was really nice to be at the park with the grandbabies and being able to have a picnic and stuff. And then we came back to monsoon weather that knocked out all the power in the world and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Somebody asked me how long had it been since you've seen the grandchildren, and I didn't know what to answer them. I know not just because of COVID or whatever, because they live a long distance. I mean, it's Montana and Arizona is not close to each other.
Right, we're 1,000 miles apart, and this is for some people don't know this, but I live in Arizona. It was supposed to be temporary. We were only supposed to be here for like 6 months. Then we're going to travel the country in our RV, and then we decided to stay and help Grandma in her last years or whatever her days were going to be, and she's living a full rich life, and she's never going to die. That's what we figured out, which is a good thing. That's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
So we get to hang out with her, but that means we don't get to go back and see the grandkids unless something happens. Like
bummer.
Yeah. So anyway, bottom line is it's been about 1.5 years almost.
Well, great to have you back. We missed you last week. We had on a couple of cool guests. That was pretty awesome having those guys on. Come in and talk to small business and stuff. And you guys responded. A lot of you people that are out there now responded well to that because I had quite a few views, which is good. I'm glad. So hopefully that helps you. And I try to.
It always helps when you have a good guest. I don't know what your mistake was today that you just did, you and I, but I think though that what we have planned to discuss might actually benefit some folks out there. Believe it or not, we're not just going to talk about my vacation. But we can show pictures if you're interested. Sam.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Let's show pictures. I'm just kidding. No, I think, exactly. Let me just put this up here real quick. Go ahead. You keep talking.
Well, so I want to discuss, I'm always trying to get Michael to talk about how he does things, like how he pulls off the tricks that he does on video in his game show, and when he's doing the show today and different
Sure.
stuff like that. So I'm always trying to get him to kind of spill the beans on how he does some of those things. And he said, why don't we talk about how we use? Do you want to say it?
Oh yeah, we put it up.
That was like your cue. I was setting you up. All you had to do was like lob it over, but whatever.
Open broadcast software. So what does that mean? What is open broadcast software? And really, I think moreover, why do we use it? Yeah, I think that's kind of what we wanted to get into. At least
exactly.
when you and I were talking, we were like, okay, why do we even use this? Why not just use straight up StreamYard, or why not just do a Zoom and then cast that
because
to whatever?
both of those products are totally fine on their own. So why do we use OBS along with StreamYard and or Zoom? So
and I'm real excited. Yeah, I can, and I'm real excited about this because it's really kind of cool. You get to see some of this stuff if you ever watch Heather's show. And I'm turning off. These are the name displays that StreamYard shows. So I'm going to get rid of those so you can kind of see some of the other stuff we can do with this software. So it makes it kind of cool. Like I can bring right on screen for me if I'm on screen by myself. Oops, except you come on screen. It doesn't work. See? No, but see, I can do stuff like this. I can add my own specialized lower third. That's just one example of some of the stuff we're going to show you. We're going to show you some stuff that's really kind of cool, stuff that we can bring in on screen and utilize. But if you notice, it just happens within this little square. It doesn't happen for the whole thing here. So that's kind of the differences. Right, Heather? I mean, it's kind of.
So I mean, well, we can do the one person on screen. We can do this weird side by side that we don't really love too much. We can bop it back out like this. We can even do this weird thing, which is always fun to make him small and me big. That's weird. Anyway, we can do stuff like that, but again, that's all within StreamYard, and we can put up these words, and we can have this picture behind us. The what is that called back there? The circuit board
backdrop
stuff.
Or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can have that stuff back there. And because StreamYard has added green screen capabilities, you can actually do a green screen like we are with the chairs. But we use OBS because we like to have the green screen, but we also like to do other fun things. Like I can actually do this with my green screen.
I just love that.
And what
has a video
I know
playing.
what I love is that it's actually a slideshow of my art behind me.
So cool.
It'll just translate into a whole new art piece over
I'm
a few
gonna put
seconds.
you big on screen because that really is so cool. I just love how that does that. And a lot of people, you've actually gotten quite a few comments, even on StreamYard when you were on their Spotlight show with Dana.
I know it almost became the OBS show on the StreamYard Spotlight show, which is not fair to StreamYard because this is not a capability of StreamYard itself.
Right.
Who knows if they ever make it that way, but it is one of the reasons why I like to use OBS. So,
but there's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of features. Like I'm going to show you right now. You can obviously screen share. Almost every software out there, Zoom, StreamYard, all those have capability to screen share. And a lot of times when you're screen sharing, you can screen share and it shows all of your bookmarks. It also shows all of your bottom area and stuff like that. Well, what I like to do is I like to go to, if I go to my bottom window, I'm gonna go to me. See, I can take this and I can actually change this right on screen. I can change this so you don't see all that stuff. So what I could do is I could actually take all this out so you don't see all the stuff that I'm using and you just see what's on screen. So there's things like that you can do that makes it pretty awesome. Now, I don't care personally if you see what apps I have open or all my bookmarks and stuff like that. So a lot of times I just go with this. But the idea is the ability you have to do that. A lot of times when you screen share, you share the screen so you get everything. So that's the kind of thing. The other thing that I like to do too is a lot of times, and my community knows this very well, is when they're in and I'm showing them and detailing stuff, I can, instead of screen sharing, I can quickly just go to, let's say, my iPad on my table. So I have my iPad and I can demo stuff live with me actually physically touching things on the
Yeah,
iPad.
and what I love about that is that you could bring in your iPad as another user in here, and we could show your iPad screen and
Right.
everything, but we wouldn't see your fingers
Yeah.
actually touching the stuff. If you're teaching someone how to use this device, this is far easier to learn how to do this while we see where your hand is going and whatnot than just your screen being
Exactly.
shared.
Plus, it has me down in the bottom corner, which I love that. You're able to do
Yeah,
those
picture
kind
in
of things.
picture in picture is always a great way to demonstrate things. So, like, I like to share my art screen for
love
this
that.
is where I actually do art, and I want to show that. But then I may actually want to show my face as well, so that allows me to be a part of the show
That's
and
so
talk to
cool.
the camera while I'm doing the art, so that way I can show and teach what it is that I want to teach. But this is a great question here from Travis Pittman. Let's go ahead and bring that up.
Love it. Oh, that is a great question. So is all this done from computer, or is there a mixing board? That's a great question. This is all okay. So OBS, Open Broadcast Software, is a software that you download to your computer. Okay, so I added that to my computer, and it's free. That's the reason I use it, and it works. I mean, it works. There's other ones out there like vMix and all these different things. There's a lot of things out there. Go ahead.
But it can be complicated.
Oh, I will
So we
say
don't
that,
want
yeah.
anybody to think that it's like the easiest
it's
thing,
easy
just plug and
breezy.
play.
Yeah.
It can be complicated, but it's one of those things where if you just take the time to learn something, it becomes a tool that you can use for a very long time, and you can adapt and grow with it. So
Yeah, I didn't learn this overnight, promise you.
Right.
I did not learn this overnight.
So we got another question from Mert.
Is the iPad
using
another webcam? Okay, now I'm not sure exactly. Is she
probably
talking about
are
from
you
before?
using a different iPad to show the one second, the words will come. Are you using another webcam to be able to show your iPad?
So, yes, I am. I'm actually using a capture card in my computer that uses a webcam. It's not a webcam. It's actually a physical camera, like a video camera that I have shining down that does that. I also have, I'm going to show you really quickly, just to finish up on what Travis said. And Travis is a buddy of mine. I coach with him. He's awesome. So there's no mixing board, but I use Stream Deck. Okay, Stream Deck is a thing with buttons where I can just press a button and go to the different scenes. So you could kind of say that's a mixing board, sort of. Okay, maybe not. Heather says no.
No, remember,
She took a vote
this
and said
show is
no.
about OBS. This show's about OBS,
yeah,
and
exactly.
Stream Deck is just
Yeah.
another fancy
Yeah.
mouse. Basically, it's just
Yeah.
a fancy mouse.
And keep in
honestly.
mind, join Tinkering with Tech. It's our community. It's a paid-for community. We teach this stuff. We learn this stuff. You ask questions about this stuff. As you're learning, we learn with you, and we can do stuff like that. We do a monthly workshop. There you go. Still learning all the time. Jim
Perfect
said.
timing, Jim. Perfect.
Exactly.
timing.
So now let
Never
me go.
stop
Also,
learning.
I have a
Hi,
second
Roz.
table camera. Hey, Roz. I have a second table camera where I come in and I put in like my phone, and I want to demo the same thing. This is actually a, what do you call that? A document camera, I think. Yeah. Document. This is a 4K document camera. So I actually have, and then I have 3 webcams. But Heather, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yours is just a second webcam. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm using a C922 that's pointed at my face, and then when I go down to my desk, you're actually seeing this one here is a C920. No, this is the C922.
Yes,
This
that's right. You
this
changed
one that's
it.
pointing up here is the C920. And so
it's
right now
perfect.
you're seeing
That's
both
so
of my
awesome.
webcams being used at the exact same time.
That's so awesome.
They're both
I
Logitech.
love that. Now, bring Mert's comment back up one more time. That same comment, because
All right.
I want to address something on this. And this is probably is the iPad using another webcam? Is the iPad itself using another webcam? No. But is it showing using another webcam? Yes. I just want to clarify that. Secondly, this is probably the biggest benefit. If you're going to use 2 cameras, this is probably the biggest benefit of OBS that it gives you for free. OBS is free. Did I say that? No, and here's why. Here's why I say that. I've had a lot of people. I follow StreamYard. I'm on their stuff all the time. I follow Zoom quite a bit. To allow a second camera to come in on one computer, I mean, you can do it from 2 different devices. I could come in with my mobile phone. That's a different device. But to come in on the same computer, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras that I could come in right now and show you 5 different cameras. I could. Do you want me to do that?
Because of OBS, you can.
Because of OBS. Right.
Right.
From one
so
computer.
without OBS, so just so I'm clear on what you're saying.
Good.
Without OBS, you would have to utilize another web browser to come into StreamYard in order to bring in one of those cameras, or another computer entirely or device.
Ooh, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. We used to be able to come in with the incognito window and come in as a second time. I never thought about that, but my thing is why try and complicate it?
That's so much more complicated.
Yeah,
and
why
then
not just have
on
one
top
program
of
that does it all? Yeah.
Exactly. And then on top of that, your camera is now running multiple browser windows, and good luck, because have you ever tried to find the browser window you're actually trying to look at right now?
Especially with 1 or 2 monitors.
Right.
I remember
love it.
back
Travis,
when I used...
Travis, you're my new best friend. I realize that you were Michael's friend first, but now you're my new best friend. Okay.
Love Travis.
Awesome. This is from Tiger Doug. I have 2 screens. Will screen share show both screens or just the primary screen? Good question.
That is a fantastic question, actually. And you know what? Here's the deal. Remember, I'm not necessarily screen sharing, okay, using the software. I mean, using StreamYard or whatever I'm streaming with. I'm trying to clarify. Okay, so if I was in
let
Zoom,
me help.
no.
Let me
okay,
help.
Go ahead. Yeah,
let me help.
please.
Using StreamYard, we would be doing something called screen sharing. That's within their streaming service. We could screen share. What Michael and I choose to do is to be able to use OBS to actually capture a window or a screen or something of that nature, so that way we can. Yeah, I don't know what your camera is doing. But we use OBS to capture our screen or a window or a browser window or those kinds of things to bring it in here.
Thank you, dear Myrtle. I appreciate that.
That's awesome,
sweet
Myrt.
I really do appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
So that is actually another one of those features that we like to use OBS for, because without OBS, that little pop-up thing saying
is impossible.
Donated, it doesn't work. You would never see that within just the StreamYard window.
So
but
that's what's so cool about that. That's what's awesome about those kind of things. And Heather's about to show you right now. She's going to show you. She does a thing. She runs her show from Twitch. Look at there. So she has like a little tip jar where when you donate or send bits, and then she also, if you look at the banner at the top left, I'm going to put her on screen. I keep...
so people can read it.
That's kind of cool. It shows the people that are supporting her channel. She can recognize those people and put that... All she's doing is playing like it's just a revolving thing that just sits there. It's just a button she hits, and that comes up. And OBS allows her to do that however she wants and wherever she wants. She could actually move that tag coming in from another side, flip it over or something, and do it from the other side. The words would be backwards. But I mean, no, but I mean, you could, I mean, she could, I'm just saying that you could do this however you want. Something coming up from the top. If somebody ever donated or so, see how she has that. She could have it coming out of the side of their glass or out of her chair or like that side of the image. See there? See, that's what's so cool about it gives you the ability to do these kind of things on screen because, and I know I've had somebody tell me, man, I love your show, but there's so much going on. I'm just ADD. I can't watch it. I can't sit and watch it for a long period of time. So I don't encourage you to do a lot of this stuff, but what I do like is the ability to go from one to one to the one.
Sometimes it has to do with the platform too. Like I actually am on Twitch. I like to live stream on Twitch. So for what I do, this is kind of fun to have things popping up and doing this kind of stuff every once in a while.
Right.
Like this banner thing up
Banner
here.
at the
It'll
top
go
left,
away
yeah.
and it won't come back for another 15 minutes. So it's kind of a cool thing that I can do. It doesn't have to be there though. You could have a banner across
That's
the top
right.
that comes and goes or just stays
That's
the
right.
whole time.
That's
All
right,
kinds
like a
of
lower
things you can
third
do.
or a lower third even. You could have different lower thirds, or one that's showing your stuff like your Twitter account or your YouTube account. You could have that kind of same thing as she was doing, but like having it scroll at the bottom, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really like
telling
OBS.
people about how to follow you on a different platform or that
Yep,
kind of
and
stuff.
I want to answer. What was his name's question? I can't remember. Yeah, Tiger Doug. I'm sorry, Tiger Doug. Forgot your name for a second. So if I want to do show the top right screen, and you can put me solo, Heather, that'll help me so I can go. If I go to the top right screen, it's going to show you absolutely nothing because I don't have that set up right. Let me go to, how about the bottom? Let's go to the bottom window. There we go. There's bottom window. Let me go to, and this is what's interesting. Always check this stuff before you go live or anything. Always check and make sure that that you have it correct or you're doing it right. Okay, so let's try this again. Oh, let's try this. Okay. See if I transition over, see if it works. It's still not working. So for whatever reason, it's not showing that top right screen today. So I didn't double check it, and I should have. Or it could just be me. Because I'm having weird video things happen today.
I was just going to say, you've had a few flickers going on. So, of course, when we're going to demonstrate something, it's usually the way live, this is how it goes, right? You're doing a live show. This is how it goes. Mm-hmm. So here's the question. Here's another question. Let me find it. Okay, so Mert says, I have an HD document scanner and I have an extra Logitech C920. Yeah, so you would be able to utilize... utilize OBS very well, very well. Yeah. And then there's some more. Roz says she has both of the cameras I'm using. That's awesome.
I've done 12 OBS. I'm just saying, I've done 12 OBS workshops in our community, that these are accessible to anyone that joins our community. You can watch them anytime you want.
You know what's really awesome about that is if you were to join right now for $10 for this month, I mean, you really have to put your time in, but you could actually watch all 12 of those episodes before the month was over and not have to pay another month. That's not a good selling point, I realize.
I know, but
just so everyone knows, it's possible.
Yeah.
If you're really interested in OBS and want real in-depth how to do all these things we're talking about, that's where you do that. So Mert's asking, is the other webcam showing your finger movements on the iPad? It's the video camera pointed down. He has a camcorder that is on a tripod type thing. That's pointed down and showing his desk.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That shows the iPad. We're just going to make him full screen there.
So this is my camera right here. I'm going to get really close and then I'm going to bring it down. That's just my hand coming down off the camera. And so when I focus here eventually, there you go. Now you can see me touching the buttons or whatever I need. If I hit the home button or anything like that, you can see me doing all those kind of things. I'm going to actually, this is like a video camera that you have. Ross, thank you so much. Australian
awesome.
$3. I'm not sure what the translation rate is, but that's awesome. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It's either $15 or it's $1.
3 cents.
3 cents, yeah. And I'm just kidding, of course. But, I can show this right here. So that's all off the same camera. I think that's what she's talking about. I hope she's not thinking that the iPad's camera is doing this. It's not an iPad camera. This is a camera pointing down at my iPad. It's mounted on the top rail pointing down, which makes it kind of cool because it shows my desktop. And the reason I have it at an angle is because there's a light up there, so you would see all the glare. So that's why I do this angle, so you can kind of see it, but yet you can still see the words most of the time on what's going on. So that is...
All right, we have another comment from Lance. If you want to bring in guests from either Skype or Zoom into OBS, but only have a laptop with an i5 8 meg of RAM memory and an integrated GPU, and then there's a comma. What are the best settings for OBS so that you don't max out your CPU?
Yeah, great question. With that shallow or low of a speed, and Heather can testify for this because she used to have that type of computer, and now
No,
Jim, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oops. Apologies.
I do appreciate it, and it is 8/19. We always know the date because somebody donates the date. Lance, yeah, that's going to be very difficult. I will say a laptop, I'm going to say it can bog down a laptop, and like Heather has with experience had issues in being in Arizona of it overheating. So that can become an issue. You have a lot of software you're trying to run and keep it running for a good hour or whatever, plus pre-show and after show. So yeah, things can happen. Video messes up. Your computer can actually shut off. All of those things can happen. So to my advice to you is invest in if you're going to do this and you want to do it with all the fancy stuff. And I had to do this. Let's put it this way. You go back and look at my early game shows. Just go to my channel and go back to game shows from even 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe. I was on my old system. The lip sync's off. There's a lot of things that play into that, and it's just choppy video. But since I got a lot powerful more system, a desktop system that's very powerful, I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. It's an i7 core processor, which is much better because anytime you run in software, so if you run Zoom and then you run to bring somebody in, or Skype, that's one set of software, right? Then you have OBS, that's another set of software, and then whatever you're streaming with. So if that's StreamYard, that's 3 things you're running. Even though StreamYard's in Chrome, still Chrome takes processing power from your CPU as well, even though it has its own it has its own processing that it does. That can get overwhelming. And then if you're screen sharing a browser window or a PowerPoint, that's open another set of software, so yeah, it gets kind of crazy. So my advice to you is to think about upgrading or using something like StreamYard. StreamYard gives you enough different functionality things. You don't have all the fancy stuff, but it gives you enough of the capabilities.
You do have some fancy stuff. It's just not, you're just limited to within what they've put up for you,
that's right.
Made
good
available
point.
at your
Yeah, that's a
fingertips.
good
but
point.
It is pretty good. It's a great place to start, and then if you can build from there, then maybe you can get to a computer that you could actually invest in that would do all those things. But yeah,
those
I
that
can
just
I
joined
can
or joined now. We were talking about OBS, open broadcast software, just for anybody. Go ahead, Heather. You were saying?
Yeah, no problem. I was just going to say that I can definitely attest to the equipment does matter. And when I first started traveling, I thought I'm going to need a laptop because that's what is mobile.
Oh, wow.
Oh, say hello.
Look at that. Ross. Look at that. Awesome. Just saying the 19th of August. Thanks.
Oh, my word. Look at that.
Wow,
1980, because it's 1908.
That's awesome.
I like the European way of doing
I
that.
do. I do too. I like that a lot. You're awesome. Thank you, Roz. That's awesome. No, I hope this is helpful though, because I know she's on a Mac and she uses 𝐒𝐞𝐽, I think. Which I know they have a lot of the same capabilities and stuff as well. So I get that and understand that. And OBS, okay, so I want to make sure I say this right. OBS can be used. It can be used on a Mac now, I believe. But like the virtual camera cannot be used. So the only way you're able to see this today in StreamYard is because we're bringing in a virtual camera to show you what OBS is showing. So that's a whole nother.
And you know what? You learn all about that in the Tinkering with Tech community. So,
yeah, that's true.
All right, I'm going to bring up some questions here. Roz said,
yeah, please.
Is that tag popping in on the screen sourced from a separate app? I think she was talking about when I had the
when you're
the little thing above my head up there. Yes, actually, that's using a thing called Streamlabs.
Streamlabs, yes.
And Streamlabs is another fun thing that we talk about in the community when we're talking about how we do our shows. So here's from Mert. Are there built-in templates for OBS, or do you sell some?
Yes. No, there are no built-in templates for OBS, but I am glad to, yes, help set those up. No problem.
I will say this, though. You could create a profile for somebody and then save it and give it to them.
Yes.
Or sell it to them or whatever.
Scene
You
collection.
can do that. So, yeah, so if somebody actually creates a scene collection for you, that's a possibility. You can buy those.
Yes, scene collection, yes. I can create... one thing that I encourage, I learned this a long time ago about doing stuff like that for other people. I would rather do it with you, make it collaborative, and make you do it along with me. Because, oh, no, I don't like that. That's too blue up there. And I have to redo. And all the redos can get so costly. It would cost you, if I'm being paid per hour, it would cost you a lot of money. But I would do it along with you. Go ahead.
That's the best part of your workshops. So when you're doing a workshop, this is the best thing. If you just didn't do them on Saturday mornings, I would be so happy. But anyway, you do the workshop, you're actually taking us by the hand one step at a time, where we can say, hey, wait a minute, Michael, I think I lost you on that step 2 steps ago, and you actually fix it. Like, okay, let's see where there you go. Now you're where we're at, and we can move on. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful, because you did that with my Stream Deck. Setting up my Stream Deck, I was missing one single step, and it was messing up the whole thing. And it was awesome to be able to go through that workshop with you, basically taking me by the hand. So Huey has a question.
Yeah, I'll get to Huey in just one second. This Saturday is actually a workshop on OBS. I'm gonna walk you through the basics on up. So it's to correlate the two. I did that on purpose. So anybody that wants to join the community, that'd be great. Or anybody that's in the community, if you want to learn a little bit more about OBS and what you can do with it, join. Yes.
Where do they join? How do they join?
All you have to do is, if you go to tinkeringwithtech.net, once you go to tinkeringwithtech.net, you'll see our public site. And there's join buttons all over the place. You can come join us. It'd be great. I'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. And now back to Huey's. Okay, what do you use for lighting to show a phone or iPad? Great question. You really don't need a lot for the lighting part of it. I know Heather needs a lot of different lighting stuff for her art that she shows on her table.
Oh my gosh, I have NASA lights lighting up all of the planet right now. It's the way it works, so that you can see artwork. Because if I didn't... Look, I'm just going to show you for a second. I just got to show this.
Please.
This is what happens if I shut off my lights. Isn't that horrible? Yeah,
the art is a lot different that way. A lot different. Yeah, it's a big difference. So here's the deal for lighting on an iPad or an iPhone. Both these cameras are super good, powerful. They're not a webcam. They're actually like a Canon handheld camera that you take. And the other one is a document camera that's 4K. They have all that adaptive lighting built in. So the lighting on the actual device, it picks up great and does that. I don't need extra lights or shine lights down on it. What I need is lights for me to see and get there and where my hand is. It's the surrounding parts.
I will say, too, it's different because you're dealing with a lit-up device, a device that actually puts off light, which is different than, say, my piece of paper with some chalk dust on it. So
the other thing, too, is you got to think about, like I have a ring light down for my iPad just so I can see my hand, and you can get depth of my hand from the shadows and things like that. That's why I do that whenever I do that one. So it's easier for you to see that I'm actually physically touching whatever. It's a tactile thing that gives you that. The light helps you on that. Not for the device, though. These cameras can pick up the device stuff as far as that goes.
All right, let's pop in some more comments before we end our show here. I didn't think I'd want to learn OBS, says Mert. I have several good video camcorders I could use. So kind of opening up your eyes that this is how you get all of those different cameras to work together. Let's see. Andrew shared this, $10 a month for workshop, 20 daily tips, 4 weekly shows equals internet all-time bargain. He is right.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Right. He's a salesman. He's our top salesman.
At a certain angle for avoiding the glare. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Is screen sharing the iPad possible? That's a great question. Now, when you say that, I want to make sure that we're clarifying on screen share. When I'm using OBS, when I go to this view, okay, so this view actually is me using and sharing the iPad. This is me. I can go into Procreate, a paint thing or whatever, and show you my last drawing, or go to the gallery, some of the things I've been drawing, that kind of thing. So I'm not necessarily screen sharing. I'm actually sharing my desktop is what I'm sharing. So the software that we're using, when you use screen share in the software that we're projecting out with, it's two different terminologies. I just want to make sure and clarify. So I think I answered your question, but I'm not sure.
But yes, if we were in here with actually
My
in
iPad.
this here as the iPad is a guest, the iPad can, yes, share its screen.
Yes,
With
in StreamYard.
StreamYard. Yes.
Or
Okay,
Google
so-
Meet or Zoom or trying to think of Skype, I guess. I don't ever use it, so I don't know.
I don't know. I've never used it. I mean, not since like 2012 or something. But,
Right.
Mike says, yes, the Tinkering with Tech community is a great value and great people. And Mike, I will be sending your check in the mail. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you, Mike. Appreciate that. No, good
And,
stuff. OBS though,
see.
OBS software is a very useful. If you have a powerful enough system, I will say this: it is important that it's a powerful enough system. But you could do 3 scenes that you just switch between 3 scenes just to give you different angles, and that's all you would need to do. And Heather can probably attest to this too, because she's been doing her show for a while. She doesn't have to go in and create scenes. She sets them up one time. She's done. If she wants a new scene, she can work on it. She doesn't have to put it in till later, but she can put it in later.
That's really why I wanted to say that it's not. It is not like plug and play. You don't just download OBS and voila, you're live the next day. It doesn't. You do need to learn what a scene is and what sources are and how the two terms work interactively, and then you do need to know how to transition between those. You need to understand that. And Michael's excellent at teaching that. So thankfully he taught me. But I will tell you this, I didn't start out with all of the bells and whistles that I showed you. I've been using OBS for a very long time, but only recently did I start doing all those bells and whistles because I took the time to learn and then implement what I learned. And I love what Mike says here. This says it right here. Let's remember, OBS does what a big TV studio did in the past using your computer for free. It is plain old magic. It's pretty awesome. Yes. And if a crafty girl like me can do it, anyone out there can do it. I promise you.
Well, and OBS, Open Broadcast Software, I think it's a great tool. Get one thing. Say, I really want to be able to do this one thing. And then just do that one scene or that one thing where you can swap between you, who's just playing with a background, and then whatever else you want to bring on screen. Just do that one thing. Then build from there. But have that one goal. I want this, and then I want this banner, then I want these things, and I want to bring in all my my media stuff and all that stuff. Before you go nuts and all that kind of stuff, get that one thing that you can do and bring on screen, or that fancy transition, or, you know, everybody wants all that stuff. If you ever watch my game shows, my game show is completely done with Zoom on a whole nother monitor, bringing those people in where I want them, and presenting that just one window, my window that I bring in through OBS out there. So
to StreamYard.
To StreamYard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the big ad, this is from Mike, the big ad for OBS is adding multiple cameras and switching views between them. That's the whole reason why I used OBS from day one, and it's the whole reason why I've grown with it. So, yeah. Sheila, we want to say hello to Sheila, who's working out there. Didn't want you to think she wasn't out there. So, Roz, I thought it might be Streamlabs. See, you know your stuff, girl.
I know, she does.
Saturday mornings were hard for me, but my schedule is now usually clear. Well, lucky you, Mert. I guess you'll get to be at the workshop. Jolene says she'll be seeing you there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Join buttons all over the place in NASA lights. You just summed up the show right there, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
That's the website he's talking about. I love it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's good stuff.
Tiger Doug says, what color temperature is your lights? And are you talking about mine or Michael's? Because mine are all cool temp, whatever
I have daylight or whatever, daytime lights, all that kind of stuff on this one. And on this one, I have, like you said, cool.
Wow, I didn't realize you had a mixture. That's interesting.
I do. And then I have up above me, I actually have a fluorescent light. But what it does is it changes, like this changes the
Yeah, but you can't change that one. That one is a permanent structure in your building, whereas the other ones are ones you've added. Yeah.
Yeah, I added that. And then I also have a light back here that is, and then I have 2 umbrella lights over here. That's mostly for the
I'm not the only one with NASA lights, I just need to say, but whatever. When you're working with a green screen, you are definitely going to have a lot more lights than normal.
Good point.
You definitely
That's a great point.
Yeah, because a green screen needs to be lit up way more than you
That
do.
is a great point. She is absolutely right on that, because lighting is everything with a green screen, because you can get the little green lines and stuff start showing.
Oh, here, I'll just demonstrate it. Just because we're tinkering, right? So I'm just going to demonstrate. Look what happens to my green screen.
Yeah.
If I did not have my lights, you see that. So and honestly, I'm not too bad lighting wise without the lights.
Yep.
It's the green screen that's necessary for us. So,
all right, we're going to save some time for our community, but go ahead. Yeah, let's get all these comments.
I
Let's
just
get
want
all
to
the
pop
comments
these up real quick here. I just lost all my comments, so I have no idea.
Initially, I found OBS so difficult to learn, but now I've used 𝐸CAM. I reckon it will be worth going back to relearn. Listen, Ross, I understand. If you have a tool that works for you, I'm not saying change.
That's the best.
At all.
Yeah, use what you know.
Yeah, and what's comfortable. And from what I understand, 𝐸CAM works great with Mac. So don't change up just because I'm saying. I'm just saying that you could probably, if you learn this in OBS, it's probably available and able to do in your software. What about sharing a PowerPoint? Yes, Sherry. Oh my gosh, it is so awesome for that, especially when you have an extra monitor. I will say that. It's better if you have a couple extra monitors or an extra monitor. It really is. Experience is what turns knowledge into wisdom. There you go. But yes, I absolutely love doing a presentation. Love doing a presentation, because what's nice about doing a presentation, and I use Google Slides versus PowerPoint, because what's cool is I can pull up slides up on one whole window, and I don't have to worry about touching it or hitting the buttons. I can just hit the space bar and it automatically goes, and you don't see any of that. You know, a lot of times when you do a PowerPoint presentation, I also use it from my phone, because you have from your phone when you use Google Slides, you can hit a button that'll take you to the next slide or go back to one or anything like that. You can get comments, all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. Anyway, that's a whole different video.
All right, let's bring up just a couple more before we say goodbye. Millie, the Silent Crafter, I'm absolutely in love with this name. I have problems keeping the keys for YouTube. Like OBS will work for 2 days, and on the third day I have to uninstall and reinstall. I basically know how to use OBS. Love that I learned to use 2 cameras.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
That's interesting. I'm not totally sure, but I'm guessing that you're having issues with it, I guess, crashing or something that you set up is not sticking or something like that. Again, I'm going to kind of touch on this, and nobody likes to hear this, but how powerful is your system? Are you on a laptop? All those things play into this. Also, I want to say,
not that using a laptop is like impossible. I use it. I've been using it for almost 3 years now. It's just that there are things you have to do in order to make it work right.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
And mine is also a powerful gaming laptop, by the way.
You can't download OBS to a tablet or to a Pixelbook or
that's
Stream
what
Key
she meant,
ID.
her Stream Key ID. Okay, so now that is using OBS to actually stream directly. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, okay. I see what she's saying.
Yeah,
okay, she's talking about using OBS into YouTube, using YouTube's key. Okay, so there's 2 ways to stream in YouTube, and I'm gonna give you two things. One, you can stream using it in an event, or two, you use a permanent link that's always there. I will say this, the permanent link, if there's an issue with OBS and you start it and you have trouble and you need to restart it, it's going to go to your next one. So if you plan ahead and you have a bunch of them, it's going to use your next one. And that's why I stopped doing that. I created an event for each one and I put that stream key in each time. I now use StreamYard that does all that for me now. I bypass the whole thing. So it does it for me. Or I can use a product called Restream. Restream does it now too. You just put it in Restream and it's done. Put that event in, click it, put the event in each time. I can stream to 4 different places on Restream. I can do the same thing with StreamYard. Keep in mind that's paid for with StreamYard. Restream it is not. YouTube, there's no charge there. So your key ID, I get what you're saying on that, and it's extremely frustrating. I used to schedule 3 games ahead. So I'd have 3 games ready to go. They were all using the same link because, this is going to be easy. I have the same stream key. But if you have an issue or a bloop or something, oh God, I need to restart. And when you restart, it's going to use the next one you have in line. Very frustrating. Trust me, I went through a lot of this.
That's a YouTube thing. So that's YouTube's deal, and there's nobody that I know who can fix that. So.
No, exactly. Anything else?
All right. I think we have. Oh, she says. Oh, we'll check out Restream. Awesome. I hope we were able to help somebody either make a decision
100%.
pro or negative one way or the other. Yes, I'm going to learn OBS. Again, if you're really interested in getting awesome help with learning OBS, learning StreamYard, learning just about anything tech related, Michael has gone so far as to even learn how to use an iPad so that he can help people with an iPad. That's huge. The guy's awesome.
I don't know how well I've
wanna
learned
join,
it, but anyway.
Hey, you know it better than I do, and I've had mine for 4 years, but we're not going to go there. That's a different conversation.
Community members.
But seriously, yes.
Community members, if you are a community member, you can join us. Join us in the after show. You guys know where the link is in the private community. Heather, I'm sure, always does. Puts it in our Hangout message box as well. You'll have it there. Please join us for the after show. We'd love to have you there, and we can talk a little bit further.
Guess what I forgot to set up ahead of time?
No,
really, go ahead. Keep talking. Okay. You know what? I did want to show one. Can I show one last thing?
Please. No, I want you to. Yes.
Because this I thought was really cool. I was really proud of myself that this crafty girl right here figured this one out. So I really want to show this one. I do a giveaway on my art show every month, and this is how I do it.
Cool.
I use this thing, and using OBS, I'm able to overlay all of these things together. The item I'm giving away, all the names, and no fancy wheel, and then I can spin it to win it, and it even has sound and all this kind of stuff. So it's really actually a lot of fun. I would never expect anybody to start from something like this, but I just wanted to share. This is just one more of those cool things you can do.
100%. I agree. I love that. I just think that's so awesome. All right, folks, we're tinkeringwithtech.net. Go look at the public site. It kind of gives you some heads up on what we've been doing, what we're doing. And if you want to join, please join. And you can join us today. If you join today, Heather will get a notification. We'll bring you into the after. We do a backstage pass. Whenever we have guests or do anything like what we're doing right now, all the community members can come in to the after show link, a backstage pass. We call it all kinds of stuff.
It's the absolute best part of the whole thing. I'm just saying, it's my favorite because I get to hang out with all the coolest people. So
there you go. Thank you so much, folks. We do appreciate you, Heather. Thank you so much. Sorry I couldn't get a guest on here, but
hey, I think we did okay.
Yeah, I think we did.
I think we did okay. I hope that everyone out there thought we did okay. That's really all that matters to me.
Yeah, I learned a little bit too. I appreciate it. Thank you, folks. Appreciate you, folks. Have a good one.